Justin Bieber's disturbing social media behavior continues, and the latest is a post about loyalty and transactional relationships. He is constantly vague booking, that's what you call it, Brett,
Yes.
about someone or some group of people, perhaps people that he used to work with and cut ties with last year. Here was his post. Loyalty is manipulative language. Loyalty is a duty. It's an obligation. That's not free will. Love is not a duty. Love is a delight. Please stop using loyalty to keep people around you out of your own fear. It's hurting us. Mafia members use loyalty to keep people in their gangs. Let's not perpetuate this manipulative language. Love over loyalty forever. So perhaps he's suggesting that he kept toxic people around him in the inner workings of his business dealings, who he didn't trust but felt he owed something to them. Perhaps this is directed at Scooter Braun or any number of people that he's cut ties with recently. We really have no idea, and this is still firmly in the realm of speculation. He also followed it up with a series of sad bathroom selfies where he clearly looks like he's under the influence of drugs or alcohol. I don't think that's a reach for me to say that. Like, would you agree?
Yeah.
He's posing almost like he's making fun of influencers, but in a way that only makes sense to him. That a lot of fans responded to this saying that he's clearly struggling with his mental health and it's too much to deny it anymore. There are still rumors of him continuing drug use and going down a spiral.
Why do you care?
Right.
It's not your business.
The thing is, I don't think anyone would care if Justin Bieber just stopped posting, but he is on a spree for the last weeks or months. He just won't stop posting concerning things on social media. One of them was a bizarre post of shipping containers alongside pictures of him as a child and one of him as a baby, I believe. People believed that was some sort of underhanded suggestion about human trafficking, saying that he was victimized in some way, but without being explicit. And just recently, over the weekend, he posted this to his Instagram story, a screenshot of what looks like a conversation with ChatGPT or Grok. In summary, there is clear evidence that ketamine has been misused in certain law enforcement scenarios, particularly in ways that amount to chemical restraint or social control, with disproportionate effects on Black individuals. This is a serious public health, legal, and racial justice issue. Would you like links to specific reports or case studies? And then he asked, has ketamine been used to control people's emotions? And he got the answer, yes. So he posted this screenshot on Instagram, and people believe he is trying to expose the fact that he has been drugged in order to control his emotions and his responses to things. And I went looking further into this, if there was any reason to believe this is true. He's constantly posting pictures of himself smoking weed these days, but no one really thinks anything of that anymore. You're California sober, right? But it goes deeper than that. It goes all the way back to his first and only arrest for his DUI back in January of 2014. This was when he was going through his first public breakdown. And at the time, TMZ published this article, Justin Bieber, my mom gives me drugs. And this was following his DUI arrest, where they did a report on the substances in his system, which he admitted he was under the influence of RX meds, alcohol, and weed prior to his DUI arrest. Then law enforcement sources told TMZ that Justin said he was on anti-anxiety medications such as Xanax, but wasn't sure exactly what kind. because he just takes whatever his mom, Patty, gives him.
Oh, like, if that's true, like, feeding someone Xanax who's not prescribed to it is insane. And getting somebody hooked on Xanax is evil. Like, I can't speak to her motives, but the act of doing it is evil because, look, Xanax is one of the few medications that you can literally die from the withdrawal from.
It's unclear if he has his own prescriptions for these drugs and his mom just handles them, or if he's using his mom's prescriptions, which would be illegal. If Justin does have a valid prescription, the presence in his system wouldn't be held against him. Then, in the same month, police had raided Justin Bieber's home after a neighbor reported that he egged their house, leading to a lot of financial damages. They raided his house and found the presence of Xanax pills and other drugs at the time. And this was something he admitted to later on. In an interview with Vogue back in 2019, he actually admitted that he was abusing Xanax at the time. He said, "I was using Xanax because I was so ashamed of my behavior." And he said it got pretty dark. He said drugs put a screen between me and what I was doing. Things got so bad that his security team had to come into his room a few times a night to check his pulse and see if he was breathing. So this is not speculation. He openly admitted that he was abusing these drugs illegally at the time and has said nothing else of the idea that his mom was feeding him the drugs illegally. But the question at hand is, if Justin Bieber is being controlled with psychologically manipulative drugs, who is his supplier and who is his handler? Who is his Harley Pasternak? You know?
Doesn't even matter. I mean, like, they can get drugs from anywhere. Literally anywhere.
He told law enforcement that it was his mom. That's just based on what TMZ reported. And the answer, seemingly, to that question, who is Justin Bieber's Harley Pasternak? It's his parents, allegedly. Also, on the same day that TMZ published this article about the Xanax, it was reported that Jeremy Bieber, Justin's father, and Jamie Spears, Britney Spears' father, were discussing a conservatorship for Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
So I suppose that means Jeremy, his father, was...
I mean, I don't trust
getting tips and advice from Jamie Spears, who put Britney in an allegedly abusive conservatorship and forced her to work and stole her money.
I don't trust the family that's feeding him drugs to be the ones putting him in a conservatorship.
But that's exactly, according to Britney, what happened to her. She says she was forced to take antipsychotic medications for a long period of time while she was still working during her Las Vegas residency under the conservatorship. And it's well known that if you're on a prolonged use of those drugs, you're never going to be the same again. It completely fries your brain, and she is no longer recognizably the same person she used to be. And a lot of people are saying a similar situation fell upon Justin Bieber's life, and we're starting to see the evidence of it. I also found a report from a former family friend of Justin Bieber named Corey Bernier, who spoke to In Touch Weekly back in 2014, saying that Justin Bieber's dad, Jeremy Bieber, also gave him drugs. He said, Jeremy Bieber isn't such a good influence on his son. Jeremy loves his kids more than anything, but he is enabling Justin's partying. When Justin was 18, I saw Jeremy give him Percocet. He said, try one of these, son. Justin liked the feeling and decided to go four-wheeling after taking it and ended up crashing into a pond. And Corey Bernier said that during the years that followed, Justin and Jeremy would smoke weed and drink together, saying Jeremy loves to party and is being a friend to Justin, not a father. Justin needs guidance right now. He needs someone who will say no, not someone who is joining in with him.
His dad didn't come back into his life till later in his life, right?
Yeah.
So he's not going to he doesn't have the authority to punish him or be strict with him anyways, even if he wanted to.
And Justin has posted many things over the years about his relationship or lack thereof with his dad, saying, he was even tweeting things like, "I miss you, Dad. Like, please come to my show." He grew up in a single mother household with his dad basically not being in the picture. And then he was picked up by a team of mentors who filled that role in his life for their own nefarious purposes and their own self-interested purposes. They wanted to make money off of him. And then his dad shows up later on once he's a huge success and he can benefit from, you know, Justin being a mega wealthy superstar.
Try one of these,
and he is encouraging him. Yeah, he is encouraging him to abuse drugs and allegedly actually handing them to him.
Yeah.
And encouraging this while people are watching and listening. I don't know if we can necessarily say that this family friend was telling the truth, but I think it's a weird thing to lie about.
Take one
just
of
for
these,
attention.
son, sounded weird. Just the formal nature of calling him son in that moment just seemed weird to me. The language seemed...
I mean, perhaps that was an ad lib, but the thing he witnessed, like witnessing his dad giving him Percocet, maybe that was something that actually happened. I do think it is a weird thing to just randomly lie about for attention.
The charitable interpretation of the mom would be that she didn't know how to help him, and these were the only things that calmed him down or helped him feel in his mind like he felt better, despite the fact that they're self-destructive and hurting him. The less charitable version of that is that it makes him pliable. So it's a matter of how well you know them and how much leeway you want to give these people as human beings when interpreting, and it's not even whether this stuff is true. It is true that this stuff happened. Obviously, Justin said that himself about the first story about his mom. So, you know, it's really up to your own interpretation about how charitable you want to be about another person.
Well, through all of this speculation about what Justin is going through behind the scenes with financial woes or mental health or drug addiction, it's all up in the air, and most people are implicating Scooter Braun and former business associates of Justin rather than taking a look at his own family. And I'm not really willing to believe that his mom or his dad are these naive people who just, you know, trusted the people working with Justin and didn't know what else to do, and they were well-meaning, but they made mistakes. I don't think that makes much sense because we've learned enough about Hollywood stage parents at this point, especially with the example of Jamie Spears, who had a personal correspondence with Justin's dad.
And none of this changes what he needs to do. Anybody who's been through rehab will tell you it is going to be up to him to make the changes that he has to. For him, that's going to be extra difficult because the people who are bad influences in his life are so deeply woven into the fabric of his existence that just separating yourself. This isn't going through rehab and losing a dealer's phone number. These are the people who you have trusted with your life for a long, long, long time. But it's his responsibility to do that, and you can feel bad for him for what's been done, especially if adults abused the trust that they had in them from their son to support their own ends. But he's going to have to find a way out of it on his own because nobody's going to help you.
I think of his wife Haley in all of this and what she must be thinking and her strategy. It seems to be just denying that anything is amiss, and no one is buying it.
Yeah.
And she's clearly way more successful than him at this point with her business. She just sold it for $1 billion. She's on the up and up. There's only good press about her, and she kind of has to dissociate herself publicly from him and distance herself from these controversies in order to keep up appearances. I don't think that she is one of these nefarious actors. She just probably doesn't know what to do and is mostly concerned with her own affairs.
Yeah, that doesn't make her nefarious. It puts her in a bad position, and unfortunately, you know, to go through that enormous effort that it's going to take to help him
if we're to believe the rumor that she stalked him for years and was an obsessed fan and married him when she still had a parasocial relationship with him, maybe it doesn't even matter who he really is. Or she misjudged the gamble that she was taking when she married someone who grew up in this industry and is now finally facing the consequences of it.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.